Hey, Mike, are you looking for something special coming on up here on February 14th?
What is that, Valentine's Day?
It's Valentine's Day. That is correct. Now's the perfect time then to get historic mail. Historic mail is the perfect gift to give away for that special holiday.
I always want to give the gift of history.
All right. Well, guess what? You can journey through the annals of time with curated letters from George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Edison, and more, delivered by mail to your mailbox each and every week.
That sounds awesome.
Yes, guess what? Give the gift of historical letters to loved ones. Historical gift packs are a journey through history's most significant moments, from the formation letters of the founding fathers at the birth of the United States to letters that changed the course of World War II. At historicmail.com, you can visit historicmail, MAIL.com. This is the perfect gift for a history buff delivered right to their doorstep.
Who can I get a letter from?
You get a letter from many different historical individuals, including Henry Ford, George Washington, and journeys throughout all of our great American history. You can get yourself a regular priced subscription for 10 weeks, or 10 letters being sent out to you for the regular price of $59.99. Make sure to use promo code TechTime for 10% off.
What kind of letters are they?
These letters are actual reproductions of the real letters or messages that are written by historical figures. Use promo code TechTime for 10% off. Make sure to visit historicmail.com to learn more information.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology news of the week, the show for the common everyday person, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our 35 million radio audience to our hour of insightful technology with a little whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm, and welcome to our show. We live stream during our show on 4 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, and Facebook. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us at techtimeradio.com, and you can always tweet us at hashtag TechTimeRadio during the show, and we'll do our best to answer and respond to it while we're on the air.
Yep.
Tech Time is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by Nathan Mumm, myself, a multi-business executive who worked 10 years at Microsoft and 5 years at Vulcan Inc. in the Seattle area. I'm a technologist with over 30 years of expertise, keynote speaker on technology subjects from security, blockchain, and everything in between. My co-host, Mike Day, is an award-winning author originally from Arizona. He's a human solutions consultant in forensic psychology. Living in the Seattle area with an MA degree, he combines his continued education in human behavior with over 20-plus years, helping clients understand human behavior so they can make better decisions. Mike keeps me from geeking out and helps provide the insight of human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We're two friends, come from different backgrounds, but bring our best technology show possible each and every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
I'm here for the whiskey.
You're here for the whiskey? Are you going to get a t-shirt made? I'm here for the whiskey?
That's what we should do.
Oh, we should do that. Actually, you got some hats made, and I'm just here for the whiskey.
That's right.
I like that. We should trademark that. Don't tell anybody now. Somebody else is going to trademark it before we get it done.
Before the end of the show.
That's right. Okay. Well, now, you know what? We've welcomed everybody, so let's begin with our show.
Now on today's show.
Today on the show, we have Amazon Care. It expands nationwide. And then founder Jeff Bezos' super yacht is causing some major issues.
It is causing some major issues.
It is causing a lot of issues. We're going to be talking about that. Mark Zuckerberg threatens to pull Facebook and Instagram from Europe. Yeah, right. We have our security expert, Nick Espinosa, on the show. He is regarded across the country for his cybersecurity expertise and ability to help companies defend themselves from the next cyber attack. He joins us. He's a longtime correspondent with us. We're going to be talking a lot about Russia today. What is Russia doing to help the cyber gangs and the cyber war against crimes for others?
Did we just talk about that?
We talked about a month ago. So there's been so we're going to be talking a little bit about that and some other items that come on up. And then, of course, we have This week in technology, Mike's mesmerizing moment, and our pick of the day. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now it's time to start our show with our loaded question of the week, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. All right, Mike and Odie, here's the loaded question. What attracted you initially to your area of work? That's a great question.
Yeah, I always wondered why people kept coming to me and talking about their problems.
And then you just decided to go into kind of the psychology field?
I went into the psychology field and ended up going into the forensic side.
Yep.
Which is more my speed.
Okay.
And
is that a slower speed or is it a faster speed?
No,
or
what is it? It's more clinically based. It's not like therapists.
Okay.
With an empathy based model.
All right.
It's observation and diagnostics.
Okay, that makes sense. sense. Perfect.
So, that's what I'm always doing, right? I'm always trying to figure out why people are behaving the way they are.
So have you figured out why I behave the way I do?
Because you're nuts.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. All right. Odie, the next question will go to you.
It was an elective at my high school. So I just decided to take intro to radio just cuz. Finished the class. I'm like, well, I did this. Might as well do advanced radio. And I fell in love with it.
Oh, perfect. And why did I get into technology? You know why I got into technology? Because I wasn't quite good enough to play sports. I was good at sports, but I wasn't like a superstar at sports. So I figured I better come up with something else. Otherwise, I'm going to be
kicked out of college.
Well, no, I actually got kicked out of college using some technology.
Oh, no, that's right.
That's right. So if you want to Google an interesting article, all you got to do is Google Mumm's the Word. That's what it is. And if you Google that, the
really?
Everett Herald. Yeah, the Everett Herald. And essentially, you'll get an article about Nathan Mumm causing some issues to my college and how I got my job at Microsoft. And it's a very bizarre. Mumm's the Word is what it comes on up. So, all right, here we go. Enough about that. Now we need to get ready to start our show. So we're going to get ready to start our first segment now.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, story number 1. Amazon expands its telehealth service nationwide called Amazon Care. What is Amazon Care, and can we get an explanation about its services? So, of course, I went to the source I could find the most information from, and that was Amazon.
Was that Amazon?
That was Amazon itself. And here's what they have to say about Amazon Care.
Healthcare can be hard. It can be opaque.
That's not through you guys.
It can be tough to know where to even start.
Do you think it's something we need to worry about?
Arrive early, wait in a waiting room, wait to get your results, maybe get a call back.
Let's make this simpler. Bring the care to the person instead of the person to the care.
What if there were no more waiting rooms? What if care was delivered on your time and your terms?
You just open the app, and from there you can do a text chat with a nurse or a virtual care visit with a provider. If we can't meet your needs in that virtual environment, we bring the healthcare system to you.
Guide us all towards making healthcare easier for everyone.
All right.
So Amazon essentially is doing what the old doctors did and do.
Exactly. That's what it is, making house calls, right?
Making house calls.
Because that's what you used to have your doctor in your community. And if you had an issue, you'd pick up your rotary phone. You'd say, transfer me to Doc Brown or whatever Doc was. I'm using Back to the Future references.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so
I think you need to go a little further back, to when they didn't even have phones.
Well, they didn't even have phones. Well, then you just, I don't know. What would you do then? You just go out there and
go get the doctor. And then the doctor came with his cool bag. And
they come on in and take care of you. Well, Amazon Care today is available nationwide. Amazon Care offers both virtual care and in-person care. The Amazon Care model combines on-demand and in-person care and is meant as a solution for the giant shortfalls in our current healthcare systems. We do have some healthcare issues.
Do I get that through Amazon Prime?
Well, if you do, you're going to have to pay a little bit more because Amazon Prime's going up. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit today.
$20 a year.
I know. So the company announced that the in-person services are rolling out to 20 new cities this year. Amazon says the expansion continues to evolve and they invest in areas such as Seattle, Baltimore, Boston, Dallas, Austin, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Arlington. In 2022, Amazon plans to bring in-person care services to San Francisco, Miami, Chicago, New York City, and more. essentially what it is it is a service that you actually launch an app on.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to a medical doctor or a nurse practitioner. So they said both. So they said either. So you probably start out with the nurse practitioner, and then you're going to move to the medical doctor. And then if they need to, they'll dispatch someone to your house within 2 hours of your initial call is what they say. That's their average time of response. And they'll come on in, and it does everything from preventative care, injuries, illness, refill of prescriptions requests, and anything else that would need to be taken care of, including blood draws and listening to patients' lungs in the house. So this also is in partnership with PillPack. Amazon bought PillPack, an online pharmacy, in 2018. And they also now in 2020, Amazon launched Amazon Pharmacy to limited selection, which is going to come on out larger. So just think of this. I'm going to get my package for my video games. I'm going to get my pills delivered from Amazon. I already got like a bed delivered from them. And now if I have anything else, I'm just going to have a doctor
You're
pull
going to have
up.
A doctor delivered.
Yeah. You know what? What if they're going to pull up in the Amazon
in a blue van?
Beep, 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 with that little background noise that's available there. So that is it. It is available now. So just be on the lookout for Amazon. And we're going to be talking a lot about Amazon in today's segment itself. I think you have story number 2.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Jeff.
Okay, Jeff. Who's Jeff?
Jeff Bezos.
Oh, he's the founder of Amazon.
Yes, he is.
Okay, all right.
So we talked about his super yacht. I don't know how many episodes ago.
Yeah, probably about 5 or 6 episodes
ago. The one
ago.
that has an actual yacht used as a helipad.
Yes, and he had to have a separate boat that essentially the helicopter lands on,
right?
Because they had cabling string across his main boat, and they couldn't land there.
So it's a tethered boat.
He
has support yachts
on his main yacht. Yep.
Anyway, supposedly Jeff Bezos' super yacht is going to cause a historic bridge to be dismantled.
Oh no!
In order to get the thing out.
So did they realize that when they originally put that in there, or what's that about?
I don't know.
Okay.
Rotterdam has confirmed it will dismantle a historic bridge to allow a super yacht built for Amazon founder Jeff Bezos to fit through.
Okay.
The record-breaking luxury yacht is being built by Dutch firm Ocean Co. And was linked to Mr. Bezos last year.
How big is that?
The vessel is reported to be 417 feet long.
So a football field is 100 yards.
100 yards.
And so it's 3 feet in a yard.
That's right.
So this is bigger than like the Chiefs.
This is larger than a football field by several feet.
Okay. All right.
And it's too tall to fit through this channel, which the Koningshaven Bridge spans.
Okay.
So a spokesman for the mayor said that the plan is that they're going to dismantle this bridge in order to have this super yacht get out of this channel.
Is that Bezos or the town? Bezos has to pay for it?
Oh, yeah, I think he's footing the bill.
Okay, I'm sure he probably is.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that would be a little bit of a like, hey,
a political
I need
nightmare.
to get out of here with my super yacht. You need to move this bridge, or I'm just going to run over it.
That makes sense.
So the mayor's office confirmed that, saying the jobs created by the construction on the vessel prompted the plan, and they pledged the bridge would be rebuilt.
Okay, so he's going to take it down. So it's kind of like an erector set. He's going to take it down and put it back again.
This really bridges that interesting thing between the past and present. So you got this historic bridge that's been around forever.
Yeah.
And somebody comes along with their super yacht and says, "Hey, I need you to move this bridge." And everybody's like, "Okay, let's do that."
Yeah, that's what the money situation.
But then again,
is, right?
the London Bridge was dismantled and moved to Arizona. So,
okay. All right.
Who knows?
Well, story number 3. I'm going to get to story number 3. Now, we got to be careful because we got a Facebook warning that's sent to us. So I got to be nice about Facebook for this episode a little bit.
Okay.
Because they thought that I was being very negative on their last couple episodes. I was like, really? You should be listening to the other 65
if they weren't
episodes.
in the news so often, getting in trouble.
So Mark Zuckerberg is threatening to shut down Facebook and Instagram in Europe over regulations aimed at hampering the app's data harvesting.
Yeah, listen to this.
All right. So Meta, the company formerly known as Facebook, of course, it's Meta, buried a warning in the report for the Securities and Exchange Commission's filed last week. In it, the California tech behemoth complained that the EU rules were prevented from distinguishing European data on American servers without the ability to transfer, store, and process that data across the Atlantic. Meta said it would be forced to shut down core services in Europe. Should the company make an unlikely decision to follow through with the threat, it could see Brits banned from accessing Facebook and Instagram.
I really don't see that happen.
Which means just another Chinese company or Japanese company would create another app and be up and running in the matter of instance. But Meta said in its report, unless European rules around the data are softened, the company will probably no longer be able to offer its most significant products and services, including Facebook and Instagram in the EU. The key issue for Meta is an issue surrounding transatlantic data transfers. Now, we've talked about this on the show.
Right.
There's like 3 main pipes across the world.
Right.
There's one that goes through London. There's one that goes through Africa. And the Africa pipe that's dredged across there also goes up into China.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another pipe that's laid down that goes across North Africa. And it's the pipe that goes up into Russia. So you got the southern African pipe that goes into China. So anything that you get on that pipe it goes into China and everything taken care of. The mid-level or the northern African route pipe goes across into Russia. And then you have the one that goes into London. And this is specifically, they're talking about this data transfer. Under the new rules, Meta and other tech giants could be forced to process the data on servers based in Europe. So this is the complaint. The complaint is that they would have to bring up a server farm in Europe to mine the data instead of having the data come back into the United States and mining the data there. Now, let me just tell you, Meta, get over it, because what you could easily do is have a server farm in Europe that you own.
Is this more about?
Well, see, what happens is the servers are there. The regulations are aimed at protecting the Europeans' privacy by ensuring that their data is not processed beyond the boundaries of the continent. So what they would do is if you got information there in Europe, for the countries that are using that data pipe from Instagram, you wouldn't be able to transmit that data back to the United States.
So they can't hit everybody in Europe with American ads.
So all you do is you got to create yourself a server farm, and all you do is you mine that data there. You then send out the instruction informations there, and you send back information that you need to relay. It's a very simple process. I don't know why they're making a big deal about it, but they have threatened that if they do not get this clarified and do not reach an agreement in 2022, they may shut off their services.
So they're threatening a hostage situation.
That's exactly correct. They're just
Okay.
they're just
And we just want to let's just say that for what it is.
That's right. It's slim to none that Facebook and Instagram are going to pull their European support, considering that it's one of the biggest and most profitable markets that they receive information from.
Right.
All right, Mike, our time is up. We got through the top stories. If you want to learn more about this, please visit us online at techtimeradio.com or click on our episode section or even our blog and see more details about our stories and features. Now it's time to get ready for our whiskey tasting at the break. We have a whiskey that we'll be talking about. We'll either get a 1 thumb, 2 thumbs, or no thumbs up on if we like the whiskey itself. Up next, we have Nick Espinosa, our TechTime Radio correspondent, joining the show from Chicago. Nick is highly regarded across the country for his cybersecurity expertise and his ability to help companies defend themselves against the next cyber attack. We're going to be talking about Russia and capturing some of its cyber games over the past few months. Is it real, or is Russia just covering up and saying that they're capturing people and not really doing it? You're not going to want to miss this segment coming up right after the break.
Hey, Mike,
What?
have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, elderberry boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost.
You can choose organic elderberry boost, that 8-ounce size. That's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on TechTime Radio, so you need to go to elderberry. That's elderberry-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
With Nathan Mumm. We just had our first whiskey tasting. Now, our whiskey that we're tasting today is the Jim Beam Peach Kentucky Premium Bourbon. 65 proof, $17.99.
Not a bourbon.
No. It's the Jim Beam Peach Kentucky Premium Bourbon.
Not a bourbon.
It's not a. Why isn't it a bourbon?
First off, it's a liqueur. It's got that flavor.
It's got the flavor in it. Yeah,
flavoring.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't meet the bourbon's proof requirement.
And do you know what the bourbon's proof requirement is?
40% alcohol by volume.
That is correct. So if it's not 80 proof,
32.5.
Correct. So this is actually not. But let me just tell you, marketing can do anything, right? So Kentucky Premium Bourbon meets the ripe and fresh flavor of peach and Jim Beam Peach, introducing the perfect balance of premium peach liqueur and bourbon at the same time. The result is rich with American heritage with the perfect blend of sweetness and woody notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Max Lister said this was so good to mix together 1 to 2 shots with an ice cold glass of sweet tea, especially in the summertime at a party during the evening dinner. I was not disappointed. Okay. And Robert H. said about 1/4 to 1/3 of Jim Beam and Peach and 2/3 to 3/4 of ginger ale, no carb. And I have a low carb diet drink that I can enjoy for the
good for him.
That's all right. I'm trying to get everything I can for
I see that. You're really trying to hit that hard.
All right. If you've ever tasted this is from Mark's Mumbles. So Mark Gregoire's Mumbles. All right. If you've ever tasted a bourbon peach cobbler, this is Jim Beam Peach. For those who haven't, this mix of peach liqueur and our Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey blends the flavor of fresh peach with a woody bourbon undertone to create the perfect drink for both summer sessions and savory winter cocktails. It's produced by Jim Beam in Claremont, Kentucky, United States. It is right here, classification. It is not a whiskey, Nathan.
It is not a whiskey.
This is not a bourbon. Bourbon must at least have 80 proof. I don't know why you say it's a bourbon on your show. Thank you, Mark. It's 65 proof, $17.99, 75 millimeters. We have 75 milliliters. 750 milliliter bottle is $17.99.
You got it?
I was getting a little bit of that.
You're already getting a little bit of the peach fuzz.
That's right. Okay. So we're going to give you either a 1 thumbs up, a 2 thumbs up, or a no thumbs up at the end of the show. Make sure you listen. All right. Well, now we're about done with our whiskey tastings, and we're going to move into something more scary. This is called cybersecurity. And Mike, we have on our next segment, Nick joining us. Your job is to help us not geek out. So we talked about this in the production meeting.
Yeah, I don't know about
so
that. You guys get going. It's hard to rein you in.
To ring it up. All right, let's get Nick ready to come on up, and we'll begin our next segment.
Welcome to the segment we call Ask the Experts, with our TechTime Radio expert, Nick Espinosa.
All right.
Whoa.
Oh,
that was awesome.
There's a little reverb there. You like that? That was the old 80s reverb.
I thought that was the peach kicking in.
That was the peach kicking. All right, Nick. Well, welcome to the show. How are you doing today in Chicago area?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back in Chicago after getting stranded in Austin, Texas all last week.
You had a big convention event that you were doing, right?
Yeah. I was actually keynoting the Force Point conference and basically got stuck. And they were super nice. It was a great event, really good people. But I literally was in Texas for like another 2 days, thanks to ice storms and all that. So glad to be home, back in my neck of the tundra.
Oh, Texas. Yeah. Oh, Texas. All right. Well, Nick.
There you go.
So introduce yourself a little bit. We have a new audience, so we've expanded quite a bit of different stations during the last time that you're on our show. So kind of explain a little bit about your expertise regarding security and a little bit about your company.
Sure. Yeah. And for the record, I like your new background and format too, by the way. Very nice. Moving on.
Thank you.
That's what
I like
you are.
Thank
you. Yeah, I'm Nick Espinosa. I'm the chief security fanatic of Security Fanatics. We obviously do cybersecurity, cyber warfare, cyber terrorism, infrastructure, government compliance, that kind of thing. I also occasionally write for Forbes and Smirconish CNN. I've done a few TED Talks and all of that. And, you can also buy my book from like 6 years ago at this point. But I'm very happy to be here. I've had a great time with TechTime, just in general, before obviously the changes and all of that. So let's get it on.
All right. Okay. So the first question I have, let's do a quick rewind on what's going on in the cyber world. Russia has arrested a bunch of cyber gangs over the last 2.5 months. This is kind of like a regular gang, right? But instead of guns and drugs, this is in the cyberspace. Explain to everybody what a cyber gang is.
Sure. And first things first, wouldn't it be nice if Russia was arrested, especially when it came to cyber criminals? But here we are. So a cyber gang basically are criminals like a regular gang. And like regular gangs, they sell illegal goods. But in this case, it's mostly digital, things like stolen credit cards.
Did 6 people this week alleged part of the hacking group involved in the theft of stolen credit cards. Russian media reports that the arrest came at the request of an investigator from the Ministry of Internal Affairs of the Russian Federation. So explain what are card forum marketplaces and explain how these have been seized and how you purchase these on the dark web.
Sure. So dark web marketplaces in general essentially act like brokers for cyber criminals to sell whatever it is they sell. In this case, credit cards, those kinds of things. So for example, one of the oldest and largest and most persistent dark web marketplaces is Silk Road, and they have multiple sellers there doing everything from selling stolen credit cards, illegal drugs, identities, all that kind of stuff, bank account access. And so if I were a cyber criminal in that business, I'd be using these marketplaces as well. And so when you see seizures from law enforcement anywhere in the world, it's essentially what they're doing is finding the infrastructure that these dark web marketplaces are being hosted on and essentially slapping this law enforcement here in the United States, it's usually the FBI, has seized this domain, has seized this website, and there you go. So that's essentially the core of what a dark web marketplace is. And they are prolific and they are everywhere in the world, and they bring basically the entire world together in terms of organized cyber crime. So it's a big deal when they're caught and they're put out of business.
Tell you this. So it's a very much an old type of marketplace. So they have like animated GIFs. It's not the new HTML code. It's not this new high end. It is very archaic, kind of like a bulletin board service in some of the old type of deals on what they sell. A lot of the times, if you're buying on the dark web, you use a broker service. And essentially that broker service is because no one trusts you as the person that's going to buy the item, and nobody trusts anybody.
Yeah, this is just like the regular black market.
So it's exactly kind of like the black market, except for you have to get through a couple logins and some onion sites. But you can buy fake credit cards, fake PayPal accounts. You can buy a social security number,
fake vaccination card,
fakes vaccination cards. COVID-19 was a really hot item.
Yeah.
And specifically with the items that you get on there, some of these sites are legitimate and some of them have been around for a while, and other ones pop up, and sometimes you can get great stuff, or sometimes that item may not even really exist.
Well, to that point, Nathan, the rub in the dark web, especially for newbies, is are you actually talking to law enforcement that sprung a trap, trying to basically get you to buy illegal things, or is it legitimate? And that tends to be a really serious problem that we've got, in the dark web, where people try, I'm going to go check this out, and then they get infected. But to that point, yes, it uses very basic coding. It almost looks like a bulletin board from like the 1990s or so. And that's in part because those people that are going there and checking those things out don't want things basically that are going to bog down the loading time. The dark web, oftentimes, you're masking your identity, which is slowing down your internet connections and all of that. Plus, there's less things to hide maliciously in code if the code can be easily scanned. And so these dark web places basically run very lean. They run very simple. But as I mentioned, they're a place to bring everybody together that wants to buy something illegal. And on top of everything you just mentioned, we can also buy passports in the dark web, actual physical fake currency. The North Koreans are known for that. So, it's a rather prolific thing, but it's just everywhere in the world.
Be careful, because if you don't have a VPN and you don't know what you're doing on there, and you accidentally just want to be browsing around and say, this is really cool, let me see what happens. You may have a knock at your door, knock, 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 and it may be an FBI agent saying, see you later, you got 30 years in jail. So don't be playing around with stuff you don't know about. All right, now
Don't do this at home.
Don't do this at home. All right. Now, in January, Russia seized $6 million and arrested 14 individuals, at least this was reported, and 14 individuals associated with REvil, a notorious ransomware operation responsible for numerous cyber attacks worldwide. Can you explain a little bit, Nick, of how this happened? And do you think that they actually seized the $6 million?
So no, honestly. And for the record, $6 million is like chump change to a group like REvil or REvil, who is purported to make anywhere between $80 to $100 million a year. So that is basically a bit of an accounting error on their part to lose $6 million. Now, essentially what happened is Russia's intelligence wing or intelligence bureau, known as the FSB, has basically said that the group has ceased to exist. And essentially, here's the backdrop of this. The United States, basically very tired of seeing these cyber criminal gangs take shelter in Russia, meaning the Russian government has turned a blind eye as these gangs are using Russian infrastructure to hit U.S. interests. Think Colonial Pipeline last year, Kaseya was another one, SolarWinds, all these kinds of things. The United States offered publicly and globally a reward for $10 million U.S. for information leading to essentially information and eventually capture and arrest of these gang members. And there you go. But here's the thing. Most of us in cybersecurity don't think that REvil or REvil is going away. None of them have been extradited to the United States or anywhere from outside the United States, or any outside of Russia, that I can think of. They also happen to be one of the favorites of Russian intelligence to use as a cutout. Now, the Russian intelligence is known, quite frankly, for using these third-party cyber criminal gangs to perform various operations for them. When Yahoo was hit, for example, it was a Russian national living in Toronto, Canada, that actually cracked Yahoo about a decade ago until that person was caught and extradited. And finally, in terms of this, and obviously the Russian intelligence probably knew where these guys were to begin with, to be perfectly honest, the timing of this entire arrest was incredibly suspicious, as this came on the possible eve at that point of a Ukraine invasion. And at that time, the United States and its European allies were putting pressure on Russia to essentially back away from Ukraine. And so this arrest, I could speculate, might have been a bit of a pressure valve for the Ukraine situation at that moment in time. And basically, the United States got something that it wanted, meaning, hey, REvil is no longer in business. And it also temporarily deflected attention away from Ukraine for a little bit of time. And so what we're looking for right now are what is known as IOCs, or indicators of compromise, that show us that REvil or REvil is back in business with a new name, which is what we all are essentially expecting, since after their arrest, Russia really hasn't been forthcoming with any of them. So here we are.
So you decide to arrest them, right? Then you decide to do a big PR event where you tell everybody that you arrest them. Right. And then you just kind of remarket them under a different name. So
isn't that what you do when you get banned from your gaming computer?
It's exactly the same thing, right? So if you have an account and you have your Xbox Live account and you try to cheat on NBA 2K and you put in these fake credits, and I have not ever had my account banned.
And you got banned?
All of a sudden, these guys I play, all of a sudden they get banned, and then all they do is they go out and get a brand new email. They just go and they redo a new IP address, and boom, that they're up and going again, and as a new name, new person, and still have the same skills. All right. At the end of the month, though, Russia has arrested the leader of an fraudulent organization, a hacking group that caused more than $560 million in losses business worldwide on other captures. Do we think these arrests are going to slow down cybercrime from Russia and across the world? Nick, ask you a quick 1-minute question on that. What do you think?
Nope, not at all. Now, remember, cybercrime in and of itself is a multi-billion-dollar annually, and Infraud, the group you're talking about here, stole $560 million over 7 years. And so while that obviously dents income in cybercrime, it's not stopping. Now, I did, in basically at the end of the year, 2021, predict that due to international law enforcement scrutiny, we are going to see some major gangs take a break in 2022 and lie low for the next year or so. But there are a ton of up-and-coming players that are always basically going to make the news, set up shop, all of that. For example, Darkside ransomware gang that did also have to go away and change their name, hit Colonial Pipeline. So we're going to continue to see cybercrime. While I'm always thrilled to see these criminals arrested, Unfortunately, there are plenty more right behind them, and also including members or former members of Infraud that will keep on rolling because the money is there, so they'll keep on doing their thing.
All right. You know what? That is a sad story. You know, they just get
normal.
younger. You arrest the older people, and you get the younger new kids coming on up that are better and sharper, and you don't have to worry about them as much.
Yeah, that's just normal.
That's just normal.
That's normal across the board.
That's normal. All right, Nick, how can people contact with you if they want to learn more about cybercrime? Since you're our recommendation that we use, how would somebody find out more information about you?
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at Nick AESP. I do daily videos and podcasts. You can connect to me on LinkedIn at /Nick Espinosa. Same with Facebook as well. And so, yeah, you'll see my mugshot on any one of those. And feel free to hit me up on social media. Thank you.
That's right. So Nick is moonlights in Las Vegas as Penn Jillette. That's what I said to him. You know, you got a great looking Penn Jillette. That's a compliment.
There is a resemblance.
There is a little bit of a resemblance there. All right, so there you go. That ends our Ask the Expert with Nick Espinosa's segment. When we return, we have This Week in Technology, a story about a little modem feud.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, do you ever feel tired, have a headache, or maybe a little bit under dehydrated?
Yeah, I get told that I need to hydrate more often.
Guess what, Mike? I have a solution for you.
What is it?
Hydronique Hydration. The electrolyte power drink packets are available for you now. Started in the midst of the pandemic, the founder of Hydronique Hydration, a frontline healthcare worker, started developing constant headaches. Do you know that most powdered drinks on the market have tons of sugar and caffeine, especially those Rockstar and Gatorade substitutes?
Yeah, like you drink.
So I'm going to need to change.
So what did the founder do?
Well, that's why he created Hydronique Hydration, sugar-free, keto-friendly, plant-based, antioxidant-rich electrolyte powdered packets for daily use, containing all the essential vitamins and minerals with a refreshing taste. Their product contains elderberry, which has immune-boosting properties for supporting during cold and flu season. Hydronique Hydration electrolyte powder packets can also fit in your bag or suitcase when traveling. Your busy days in 2022 can change. Do you want a sugar-free, keto-friendly vitamin drink to give you hydration boosts? If so, give Hydronique Hydration a try. You can visit the website at www.hydroniquehydration. It's www.hydronique hydration.com. That's the word hydration and unique mashed together. Or you can search for Hydronique Hydration on Amazon.com or on their own website at hydroniquehydration.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right. We have February 7th, 1998. The 56K technology was a modem that was offered a faster solution for end users to connect to the internet. While originally introduced, two technologies emerged: the X2, which was developed by USRobotics, and KFlex, introduced by Lucent and Rockwell. The V9 modem standard was agreed upon that allowed both hardwares to have a unified communication path. This ended a couple years of customer confusion as two competing 56K modem protocols were combined for everyday use. The V90 standard unified the protocols that was crafted specifically to allow the modems to upgrade the firmware themselves. V90 was around, and it was only later replaced by V92, but V92 did not last long because at that time, the invention of broadband access was already eating up the dial-up market.
Service.
That's right.
Oh.
So at the very end...
You ever miss that sound of...
I do. Yeah. We had to have a second line at my house. We had one line for the modem and one line so you could talk back in the day.
Yeah, we did too.
And I ran a bulletin board service. Oh, I did a lot of great things back in the days. I would just let it run forever. It just stayed up all the time. That's right.
Yes, I remember bulletin board services.
All right. Well, that was our This Week in Technology. Have you ever wanted to see some Tech Time history? Well, you can go visit us at techtimeradio.com and check out older shows, or sign up for our newsletter, or subscribe to the best technical information by being a part of our Tech Timers on our Facebook group. Up next segment, we have one of our favorites. It's called Letters. We'll see you after the break.
Letters.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, do you ever feel tired, have a headache, or maybe a little bit under dehydrated?
Yeah, I get told that I need to hydrate more often.
Guess what, Mike? I have a solution for you.
What is it?
Hydronique Hydration. The electrolyte power drink packets are available for you now. Started in the midst of the pandemic, the founder of Hydronique Hydration, a frontline healthcare worker, started developing constant headaches. Do you know that most powdered drinks on the market have tons of sugar and caffeine, especially those Rockstar and Gatorade substitutes?
Yeah, like you drink.
So I'm going to need to change.
So what did the founder do?
Well, that's why he created Hydronique Hydration, sugar-free, keto-friendly, plant-based, antioxidant-rich, electrolyte powdered packets for daily use, containing all the essential vitamins and minerals with a refreshing taste. Their product contains elderberry, which has immune-boosting properties for supporting during cold and flu season. Hydronique Hydration electrolyte powder packets can also fit in your bag or suitcase when traveling. Your busy days in 2022 can change. Do you want a sugar-free, keto-friendly vitamin drink that give you hydration boosts? If so, give Hydronique Hydration a try. You can visit the website at www.hydroniquehydration. It's www.hydronique hydration.com. That's the word hydration and unique mashed together. Or you can search for Hydronique Hydration on Amazon.com or on their own website at hydroniquehydration.com.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. During our commercial break, we had the Jim Beam Peach Kentucky Premium Bourbon, 65 proof, $17.99 for this. Now, behind the scenes, Mark's Mumbles here says this is trying to compete with Crown Royal Peach. Really just a throwback to wine coolers for people who want to drink and don't appreciate bourbon. That's what Mark says about this. But I don't know. I may be going the other way against Mark on that.
You think?
All right, let's begin one of our favorite segments right now.
Letters, we get letters. We get back and back of letters. Oh, letters, we get letters. And the letters all have songs.
All right, letters. All right, I am up first. Here we go.
Well, you might want to explain what
this is
doing.
Letters. Okay, Letters is a segment that is specifically taken care of that includes this week's scams, phishing emails, and all-out mistruths disguised as legitimate emails that are sent to Nathan Mumm himself.
Right,
your host.
Because Nathan Mumm does something nobody should do.
I click on all these links.
You click on links.
That's right. So we don't recommend you clicking on any of these links at home unless you have a special computer set up so that you can reformat it and start it all over again once you get infected, which I do for these links. But we have some very interesting emails that we're going to read to you and kind of explain what happens.
Go ahead.
First, mine is all about security. Welcome to ADT Security. Save now on the most trusted home security system. Look at that beautiful picture of a husband and wife and their kid out in the snow.
Has nothing to do with anything.
For what matters
just a happy,
most.
good feeling picture.
That's right. For what matters most. Requires a 36-month monitoring contract, and you can get ADT Video Complete. All you got to do is fill out this form. Now, first thing is when I get this email, it comes from the office at caroltrade.com. Whoa.
So it's not ADT, right?
Well, so ADT has some sub-offices that it leases out as information.
Mm-hmm.
So then all of a sudden I go to caroltrade.com and this website doesn't pop up.
Why?
I don't know, except for when I then click on the button to ask about this security system, it asks for my name and phone number, which, that'd be a standard lead generation tool.
Right.
But all of a sudden it asks for my social security number.
Really?
Why would I need a social security number
to verify
sign
that
up
it's you?
To verify it's me for ADT security?
Yeah.
I just call somebody and say I'd like a security system. I've never once in any security company I've used had to give my social security number out to install an ADT or any security system at my home.
No, because
it's
that
a scam.
Is a clue.
It is a scam.
That is a big clue.
That it was
anybody asking for your social security number in an email.
That's right.
Is a bad idea.
All right, I think you got the next letter.
Yeah, this is from Verification Password.
Oh, from Verification Password.
I don't know who that is, but I'll tell you what.
Okay.
They don't know how to spell their name because it's XWBMKDSRWKTYQME at 2LRN4.com.
Oh, that's absolutely sounds like a legitimate email address. No, it does not.
No,
it does not. Okay.
The subject is Microsoft Office Team.
Team?
Not team.
Not
teams.
Not teams?
Team.
So it's just team. Okay.
Team account.
Okay.
Did you attempt to change your password in big splashy letters?
Okay.
The password for the team account, Nathan Mumm at hotmail.com, there was an attempt to change it.
Oh, okay.
And then it says, if this was you, then you can safely
click on a link.
And no, listen, you can safely and click yes.
Yeah, safely and click yes.
Yes, listen to the grammar.
Okay, safely and click yes.
If this was you, then you can safely and click yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was me. Click. If this wasn't you, your account has been tried to compromised.
Try to compromise. Try to compromised.
Tried. Tried to compromised.
Okay.
To past tense.
Okay.
Never mind. Please click no.
Please click no. Okay.
Click.
And then who was it sent from?
The office account team.
From the office account team.
From whatever.
Okay.
There's a little.
There's a little logo. It's a little Microsoft.
There.
It's a Microsoft.
Was it a Microsoft
It's
logo?
a Microsoft Internet Explorer logo.
Oh,
so
really?
It's not
the
even
old
a,
one?
It's not. Yeah. So it's not even a 365 icon.
All right.
So if I clicked yes, it was me.
It asked
for my username and password.
Uh-huh.
And if I clicked no for me, it went to exactly the same URL. Exactly the same. So if I clicked yes, it went to the same thing as I clicked no, and it asked me for my username and password.
So what are they fishing for?
My username and password, so they can then try to log into my Office 365 account.
There you go.
All right, the next one I have here from Kristen Mashburn. But too bad Kristen Mashburn must be Carlos at KP57 blah, 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 blah.com. All right. Special announcement. Listen to my podcast interview here. If you're crazy about podcasts like I am, I have a treat for you. Here's a special interview. Click on here to learn more. Now, essentially, it looked okay. You know, maybe there's.
You're a podcast.
I do.
guy.
I listen to podcasts. So I click on the link. Then all of a sudden it says to listen to the special podcast, you need to download a special media player.
Oh, no.
Now, I've never had to download a special media player for a special podcast.
Well,
if I would do this, it essentially would download a virused program that would try to play media files onto my system, and I would be compromised.
Okay.
It was essentially a software program that allows somebody else to get into my machine.
This is basically phishing. This is basically attacking your need to know.
Yep.
Right.
About
it
the podcast.
Says, hey, we got this special podcast for you.
Yep.
And so you click on it.
It's ready to go.
And you're more likely to think a moment. Well, maybe not think, because that's the problem.
Yep.
You're more likely to click that link and say, oh, okay, I can do that, and get this stuff installed on your thing, because at that point your little survival
mechanism is in place.
Yes, it's kicking in and being like, hey, we need to know this. This might be important.
All right, you got one last one here.
Yep. This is from eeservices.com.
Okay.
Phone service.
Yeah.
So this is from you.
It's from me. I sent it to myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was jun.tanizaki at ss.ssnet.co.jp. So it's
not really me. That's not my email address. So
Nope.
I can't send an email to myself at an incorrect email address.
It's supposedly from you. Which I'm always interested to find out how many of these you get from yourself.
Yeah. So am I.
Yeah. Voicemail received February 8th, 2022. You have a new voicemail at 10:24 a.m. 2/8/2022.
Okay.
Displaying 1 out of 1 message, duration 56 seconds, caller number received. And is the caller number a clickable?
So the call number is supposed to be a clickable digit, so I could call it back on my phone. But let's take a look at the digits they decide to say that caller number was.
Well, yeah, it's got 413-283-98*6.
Yeah, you know what? The *6 does not work. When you try to click on *6, I tried calling that number at least 2 or 3 times.
What
I
happened?
was so worried that I had my voicemail. Yeah, nothing happens when you try to type in a phone number with an asterisk.
All right, so what's this one about then?
So this is what you call dumb criminal that sends an email that wants you to click on something, that sends you a phone number that doesn't even have the correct digits because you decided to put an asterisk in there instead of another. They probably were a phone bank in a call center, and probably his instructions are you need to put in your number digit there for the asterisk, and he didn't realize that, and he cut and pasted and sent it to me with the asterisk in there.
That's awesome. So
All
they were fishing. What do you think they were fishing for?
Who knows? Because they can't figure out what they're doing.
The reason why we do this is that this calls into some very specific things that people are trying to get. They're either trying to get an email verification.
Yep.
That somebody's live at the email that they're sending these weird things to.
Yep.
Trying to get access to account information, which is what you got.
Yep.
They are attempting to get you to call something.
They're trying to get your information.
Or to
basically.
download malicious
or software on your machine.
onto your machine. So the key points here is pay attention to who's sending it.
And what they're sending. And don't click on links.
Don't click on,
That's right.
don't do Nathan Mumm and click on the links.
Well, that ends our segment. When we return, we have Mike's Mesmerizing Moment brought to us by StoriCoffee and our pick of the day. We'll see you after this commercial break.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon the Bookpository, and more.
All right, welcome back to TechTime Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. Mike, we're going to get right into your segment starting now.
There it is.
There it is.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by StoriCoffee. Visit StoriCoffee.com.
All right, I got a question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Amazon's new Super Bowl ad features a creepy mind-reading Alexa. The Amazon Super
That's
Bowl
the Scarlett Johansson one.
and Colin Joyce essentially have a mind-reading Alexa device that essentially wrecks their relationship. It essentially tells them what they're thinking about in broadcast mode so that the other person can hear what they're thinking about because it's guessing what's going on. The ad runs about a minute and a half. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek about their marriage, and Alexa plays Little Lies by Fleetwood Mac and a bunch of other different items as they go through their question and answer process. Now, if you want to avoid Alexa toggle setting, it's setting right now. They have this new setting called
how is this my mesmerizing moment?
Hunches, and you can just turn off hunches. You say, Alexa right now, turn off hunches, and you're good. But explain to me, why are we coming up with AI devices that are now going to make hunches for us in our relationships instead of us just having that information privately so that our spouse or significant other doesn't hear it?
Well, I think this is more along the lines of hunches being, hey, this person likes this type of stuff. It's kind of like the Netflix thing.
Okay.
You know, hey, we saw that you liked Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Okay.
So we think you might like Attack of the Killer Pickles, Attack of the Killer grapes,
anchovies,
Attack of the Killer. And so it lines these up, right? So I'm guessing that they think that this is what we want.
So do you want a device that's listening to you to start making hunches as you walk in?
This is what everything does nowadays. Facebook does it. Google does it. So if I could do a Google search for a screwdriver, I suddenly getting screwdriver ads for Amazon in my Facebook page and everything. So, you know, they're looking for these ways to be more human.
Yeah.
Right. And anticipate what we're trying to do, which is a little creepy.
I don't like it at all.
But I think ultimately, it's funny that we design these things to try to be human.
Yeah.
It's so funny that the key point here is that we're trying to create life through this effort. It's just odd. But I don't think I would listen to Alexa for, marital advice.
No, I probably wouldn't either.
But
although, you know what? It may
funny.
be interesting. You got to check out that Super Bowl ad. It's very funny.
It's a very funny commercial, but it does sort of edge into the
what's happening,
creepy points of where technology is trying to go.
All right, we got our Jim Beam Peach whiskey that's not whiskey. We're going to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. What do you think, Mike?
Just based on the flavor, I'm going to give it a thumbs up because I like peach flavored drinks.
Okay.
It's not my favorite peach flavored whiskey.
Yep, but you like
liqueur.
Okay.
It's tasty, but it's
thumbs down.
It's not bourbon.
Thumbs down.
It's not bourbon. So
thumbs down. Nathan gives it a thumbs down.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, you did.
I
totally did.
Well, I like all whiskey, but I didn't like this one.
This isn't whiskey.
That's a liqueur. It reminds me of those coolers I used to get from my wife when we first got married.
Hey,
all right,
Bartles and James.
Yeah,
man.
I remember those. Those were like the big things to get. Well, Mike, we are about out of time. We thank everybody for listening and hope that they had an exciting part where they could say, during the show itself. Now, you can always be a caller by clicking on the icon, be a caller. and ask a question on technology, and you can be the star of the show. Just go to techtimeradio.com, click on Be a Caller, and leave us a message, and we'll answer it for you. You can also go there to win some very cool prizes. We have StoriCoffee that's available there, and should be perfect. From all of us at TechTime Radio, we thank you for listening. I was honored to be the host of today's show with a great week looking forward to ahead. Remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.